You hear it first, that sharp clack of straps on the roof of a Jeep, metal buckles tapping against a steel rack. Someone shouts in Urdu, a driver's voice rolls down the line of vehicles, and there's steam rising from a chai stall in the cold morning air of Besham Bazaar. You're standing there with your backpack, thinking, okay, which Jeep is actually mine?
And right then, a driver leans out the window and calls, almost singing, Kalam, 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 or Hunza, Hunza. You smell samosas, your hands are freezing, and you're trying to decide, do I just jump into this shared Jeep like the locals, or will I end up 3 valleys away from where I meant to go?
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Travel Dairy, my traveling stories of the northern areas of Pakistan. I'm your host, Sharjeel, and today we're doing a fast 5-minute guide to riding like a local, shared Jeeps, minibuses, all those roadside lifts that make up a real travel day in the north.
And I'm Abdullah, your traveler partner. Between the two of us, we've squeezed into more shared Jeeps than I can count. Sometimes with chickens, sometimes with bags of potatoes, sometimes just very curious uncles asking, Beta, kahan se ho?
So why even bother with shared rides? You might think, I'll just hire a private car and be done. But shared Jeeps and minibuses are the real heartbeat of travel here. They're cheaper, they leave often, and honestly, the conversations you have in those cramped seats, those are the stories you remember.
Exactly. Especially if you're on a budget or traveling solo. You get local tips, you see where people actually go, and you feel the rhythm of the valley. But, and this is important, you need to know a few small rules so it stays safe, comfortable, and respectful.
Let's start with spotting a legitimate ride. You're in a town, say Mingora or Chilas, and you see a line of Jeeps. How do you know which one is an actual licensed service and not just someone looking for random passengers?
So, first cue, look for a proper stand. Usually there's a small office or a cluster of vehicles all heading to the same few destinations. You'll often see hand-painted boards or signs in Urdu or Roman Urdu on the windscreen, Kalam, Naran, Gilgit. The more organized it looks, same route written on multiple vehicles, a person with a register taking names, the better.
Second, the licensing cues. A proper public transport Jeep or minibus will usually have a number plate of the right color for commercial use, and often a permit or transport sticker on the windscreen. If you're not sure, just ask calmly, Ye registered gadi hai na? Is this a registered vehicle?
Okay, now you've found the stand. Next question, how do you handle the fare without drama? Because nobody wants a surprise argument at the end of a beautiful mountain ride.
The golden rule is ask the price before you sit. Smile, make eye contact with the driver or the conductor, and say in a friendly tone, Bhai, kiraya kitna hoga? Brother, how much will the fare be? And sometimes you'll see other passengers already sitting. It's totally okay to quietly ask them, Aap kitna de rahe ho? What are you paying? Usually people are happy to tell you, and it keeps everyone honest without turning it into a big scene.
Once you agree on the fare, try to keep small notes ready. Handing over a big bill at the end in a crowded Jeep is, let's say, not ideal.
All right, now my favorite sound, the roof loading. Imagine the hollow thump as a backpack lands on that metal rack, the drag of a tarpaulin, the quick clack-clack of straps being pulled tight. That's when you know the journey is about to start.
If you're putting luggage on the roof, here's the simple protocol. First, take out what you need for the ride. Jacket, water, maybe motion sickness medicine. Keep valuables, passport, camera, laptop, with you inside, not on the roof.
Then let the driver or helper load it. These guys do this all day in sun and snow. They know how to balance the weight. But you can watch and politely say, Bhai, achhi band kar de, andar kapde hain. Brother, please tie it well. There are clothes inside.
If there's a tarpaulin, make sure your bag goes under it, not just on the edge. The wind in these valleys is no joke. I've seen plastic bags fly like birds behind Jeeps.
Inside the cabin, keep the bulky stuff out of the narrow walkway and never block the door with your backpack. In case of any quick stop or emergency, you want people to move easily.
Now, seating, this can make or break your day. If you get motion sickness, avoid the very back row and the seats over the rear wheels. Those bounce the most on mountain roads.
Try to get a seat closer to the front or by a window so you can look at the horizon. If you're traveling with elders or kids, quietly ask the conductor,
उनको आगे की सीट मिल सकती है? Can they have a front seat?
Sometimes shared Jeeps are just not friendly for people with mobility challenges. The steps are high, the space is tight. In that case, honestly, don't force it. Ask your guest house to help arrange a private car with easier access, or a vehicle where you can sit without climbing.
Yeah, and if you use a cane, stick, or any small mobility aid, keep it with you inside, not tight on the roof. Let the driver know you'll need a bit more time getting in and out. People here are usually very patient if they understand what you need.
Quick cultural note on seating. In many northern towns, you'll notice men and women often prefer to sit a little separately, especially with strangers. If you're a woman traveling solo and you're unsure, just watch how other women are seated and follow that pattern.
You can also ask the conductor quietly, "Main kahan baithun theek rahega?" Where is appropriate for me to sit? They'll usually guide you in a way that fits local norms. All right, let's drop you back into that moment at the stand. You've agreed the fare, your bag is clacking into place on the roof, and the driver is doing his classic call down the line of Jeeps.
You hear his voice, firm but almost musical, calling out the route, the way they do in every valley. A helper is on the roof, sliding your backpack under the tarpaulin, straps snapping tight against the metal rack. Clack, clack, clack. While someone behind you orders, "Du chai, kam chini." And just like that, you're part of the scene, not just watching it.
One last key phrase before we wrap up. When you want to get off the Jeep, don't wait until the very last second. About a minute before your stop, lean forward a bit and say clearly, "Meherbani karke yahan ruk jaiye." Please be kind enough to stop here.
Say it with a polite tone, not like you're ordering food. You'll notice drivers respond much better when you sound respectful. And if you're not exactly sure where your guest house is, you can add "Is hotel ke paas," near this hotel, and point.
Now, before you fall completely in love with shared rides, I want to give you a simple decision rule for when to skip them and go private instead. 3 quick checks.
First, daylight. If it's getting dark and the route is long, unpaved, or unfamiliar, it's usually safer to avoid shared Jeeps and arrange a private car or wait for morning.
Second, licensing. If you can't confirm it's a registered vehicle, no proper markings, no recommendation from your guest house, don't feel shy to say no. There will always be another ride.
Third, comfort and health. If someone in your group has serious back issues, gets very motion sick, or has trouble climbing in and out, prioritize their body over your budget. A smoother, safer ride will make the whole trip better.
So let's recap your shared ride toolkit in northern Pakistan. 1. Find the proper stand and look for route boards and licensing cues. 2. Agree the fare up front with calm, polite questions. 3. Keep valuables with you. Make sure your roof luggage is properly strapped and under the tarpaulin.
4. Choose your seat wisely, front or window if you can, especially for kids, elders, and anyone with motion sickness. 5. Read the room for seating norms, especially around gender, and ask if you're not sure. 6. Use that magic phrase, "Meherbani karke yahan ruk jaiye," to get off smoothly.
And 7, when in doubt about daylight, licensing, or comfort, choose a private ride. The mountains will still be there tomorrow.
If you want to make this super easy on your next trip, we've put everything into a simple printable checklist, plus those phrases we used today, written out and in audio form, so you can practice the driver calls and the polite Urdu without stress.
Just head over to example.com/shared ride cheat sheet. You'll find a one-page checklist you can save to your phone, mapped cues for finding stands and reading signs, and audio clips of the key Urdu lines so you can blend in a little more with the locals on your next Jeep ride.
Next time you hear that clack of the straps on the roof and the driver calling out the valley name, I hope you'll feel prepared, not lost.
From both of us here at Travel Dairy, thanks for riding along today. May your seats be comfortable, your luggage stay dry, and your Jeep stories be the ones you laugh about later. Khuda Hafiz, and I'll meet you in the next episode.